Hey everybody, it's Will Parker here. Time for another Freestyle Friday when I make up a completely improvised song based on suggestions from you all. Yesterday I made a post asking for suggestions and I was hoping to get about six, which is normally about the number of things I improvise on. I got 20 suggestions and instead of choosing six out of the 20, I thought, why not just try improvising a song about all 20? So we're going to see how this goes. This is a song about dogs pooping, asparagus, Jane Fonda, young adult fiction, always dinosaurs, unwanted visitors of the mouse persuasion in the middle of the night, silly walks, cheese machine, weatherman, flock of kookaburras, the UN's Millennium Development Goals, FaceTime with cats, the Ingenious Hidalgo Don Quixote of La Mancha, opening the local restaurant, shredding, fake Jake, fiscal policy, oranges, dance battles, and biscuits and gravy. All right, wish me luck. Many years ago, 1989, Jane Fonda, she decides that she's tired of her boring life. She wants to move on and see the light, making exercise videos, doing her normal thing. She wanted to do something that would make her heart sing. So she set off in a car, headed down the street to see what she could see. Well, she parked the car in a parking lot and decided that maybe she would take a walk through the park. And what did she see? Well, the first thing she saw was dogs pooping and peeing on a fire hydrant. It was gross, and she thought, that's the dog I like the most. It's very pretty. I don't know if it's a poodle, but I think when I'm thinking with my noodle, maybe I want a dog, maybe I want a cat that sees so many things and I know where it's at. I'm not sure what I should do next. And then she did something you might not expect. She started walking in very silly ways. It seemed kinda out of character, but that's what she did that day. And she walked like a dinosaur, and she walked like a flock of kookaburras, and she walked like a kitty cat. And man, she was so sure of her new life, where adventure takes priority. She went back to her old files and she started shredding. That's right. She decided to burn up her past cause she thought that she could outlast whatever happened back then, and now she was moving on again. She had new ideas, new adventures in store. That's right, she had some and she wanted more. She wanted to explore the world, and suddenly she was hurled into an imaginal plane based on the young adult fiction she was reading. It was post-apocalyptic, and honestly, she was needing some classical literature instead. Like the Ingenious Hidalgo Don Quixote of La Mancha. She thought maybe if she'd read that book, well, she would want a delicious, nutritious breakfast of oranges and gravy. I forgot to mention the biscuits and the cheese machine, maybe. Yeah, she used a cheese machine to make her meal. It was pretty delicious. Oh man, what a deal. Making cheese all kinds of ways. Jane Fonda, man, it's kind of in a haze. And maybe it's a dream or maybe not. Maybe it's real true. I think that she thought that in the middle of the night she heard something crawling around. So she woke up, crawled out of bed, looked around her house, and she saw a little tiny rodent. She realized he was a mouse, and she asked the mouse, "What are you doing here?" And the mouse said, "Tomorrow is going to be clear, and then we'll have rain on Sunday, my friend, and then on Monday, well, we'll have rain again." And Jane Fonda realized this little mouse was a weatherman wannabe, trying to guess what would happen, trying to live free. And so Jane Fonda asked the mouse what he did when he wasn't acting like a meteorologist and all that. And this mouse said one of his hobbies was to safely, from a distance, FaceTime with cats. It's a pretty brave mouse, being willing to FaceTime with cats and all that. So Jane Fonda had had a pretty weird day and wasn't exactly sure what was going on, and thought that she just needed to kind of, recenter and focus. So Jane Fonda took a trip to another country, and she thought for a bit. Man, she was hungry, and she began pondering the UN's Millennium Development Goals, wondering if the countries around the world could ever meet those. And finally she was hungry, so while riding on the back of the bus, she pulled out her favorite to-go lunch, which was mostly just mashed up asparagus. And in front of her on the bus there was a cardboard man with a printed out face she didn't really understand. And she asked the man, "Hey, what's your name, sir?" And the cardboard guy said, "Fake Jake." And she was unsure if he was a real person or just a cardboard guy. Wasn't totally certain, so she just walked by. And she got off the bus, went to the local restaurant. She had caused a fuss, but she was impressed, or not, at the locals' actually amazing menu. And she wanted to order a cheeseburger or a sweet potato fry or a few. But the person behind the counter had a scowl on his face, and he said, "Because of our fiscal policies, there's no more food. So you're out of luck unless you can pay with something besides money. I know it might sort of sound kind of weird, or might sound kind of funny, but in order to order your food, you're gonna have to make the walls rattle by blasting some music and having a dance battle." So Jane Fonda had a dance off with the local residents, thought they were soft, but she honestly schooled them, you know, cause she knows how to dance and in the flow. Jane Fonda finally got her food and it was pretty weird, and she said, dude, this has been the craziest day I've ever had, and honestly it hasn't been half bad. So then she finally went back to her home and sat in a bed all alone. But she wasn't alone cause the mice was there, and the mice, well, they didn't care what was going on inside, talking about the outside. They were the weatherman mice, that was kinda nice, and sure enough it was gonna rain tomorrow. Thank you, weatherman mouse. Okay, I'm pretty sure I mentioned all 20 things. Yes, I did. And that's it for today's Freestyle Friday. Think about what you want to hear me sing and rap about next week, and let me know either through Instagram, Facebook, or email will@willparkermusic.com. Stay tuned. I got a new video coming out Monday, and these Freestyle Fridays happen every Friday. Thanks.